Alright, so this tutorial begins the second project series for motion graphics. This one is gonna be science fiction themed, title intro project. And this notes, I'm gonna post it on should I post this on the Moodle? Not too sure if I will or not. Yeah, maybe I won't, but it's gonna help guide us. All right, so let's show what's gonna be made, or a variation of it. Spacebar. Okay, let me just play it completely. Yeah, there you go. One more time. Alright, so that's what you're gonna make. Like I mentioned in class, for those of you that were not in class today, you have to think of a title. And the title has to be science fiction themed. So you think of a title, and it has to be minimum of 2 words. Not just 1 word, but 2 words. It's because it's going to be animated a certain way, and that way it's a little bit more challenging. So minimum 2 words, something science fiction themed, more or less. If you could think of a clever title that doesn't have science fiction terminology, I mean, that's fine too, but it has to convey a sense of, like, you know, mystery or exploration of space, or a void, or just, you know, infinite space kind of a deal, or space travel, something like that. Yeah, so that's the one of the guidelines for it. 2-word title. I recommend just 2 words. Yeah, and as you know, I sent out the Google Drive link containing the assets. The main folder is Outer Space Project Assets. And yeah, inside of it, there's several folders. When you do download it, I think that students had issues where when they clicked on the Google Drive link, I don't know if it packaged all the folders separately. Some of them had all the footage all piled up into one folder, which is not good. So I don't know if that was done intentionally, or if Google Drive, you know, keeps the folder separate. But regardless, make sure it's clean like this. Here's a galaxy folder, lens flare folder, light leaks folder, sci-fi themed footage, sound footage. Okay, so when you're in Google Drive, I guess you don't have to necessarily download the entire thing, which is 10 gigs. But let's say galaxy folder, and you choose one of these. Maybe you could just download one to help save you time. But the lens flares, I would download the whole package, and the light leaks as well, because they're more effects driven rather than, like, you know, content driven. Yeah, and then your sci-fi footage, I would probably download the whole thing, or, you know, play it, preview, and if you like it, then you download that. So you could just pick one. Yeah. And like I mentioned before, the effects footage, those you want to download the entire folder because you want to mess around and play around to see which effects you actually want to use or can use that will go well. And then the sound footage, that one too, I would download the entire thing because you want to browse through and choose the right sound and music that fits your needs. Yeah. So you could just choose one for the galaxy footage and choose one for the sci-fi theme footage. These other three, just download the whole thing. All right. Name your folder Outer Space Project Assets, and just remember what these say and make your folder and make it nice. So I'm going to start now. So you've seen the preview. I'm going to go File, New Project, don't save. All right, so we're starting fresh. First thing, I need to download a footage. So I'm going to double click in the project area right here. I'm going to go to Outer Space Project Assets, Galaxy Footage, and I used this one. Maybe I'll use, I don't know, this one? Just for the hell of it. And let's take a look. So we have to pull it out. Well, this one's 450. Right, 450 frames. So this will be fine. 450 frames, that's more than 10 seconds. Because that's at 30 frames per second, 10 seconds. So that'll be 300 frames minimum that you need, more or less. So this is more than enough. And we have to be aware of the frame rate. Okay, 29.97. Okay. So be mindful of the frame rate. And also be mindful of the video size. And I'll give you the reason why. Now, so we got our footage in. So which is this one. Import your chosen outer space footage into After Effects. Check. Yeah, I'm going to just put a little something like that. I wish I could put a check mark. Maybe I'll just do that. Cross it out. Good. And next, make a notation of the frame rate and size. You may have to resize it later. Alright, I did that. Cross that out. Make a new composition. Alright, 1920 by 1080. The frame rate has to be the same as your outer space footage. Duration 30 frames, 300 frames or 7 seconds. No, not 7 seconds, 10. 10 seconds. Yeah, 10 seconds. 300 frames or 10 seconds. Alright, let's do that. So, composition, new composition. Okay. Composition, new composition. You're gonna name it new comp. Okay, new comp. No, main comp. Yeah, main comp. Make sure it's 1920 by 1080. Okay, you can choose HD 1920 1080. And luckily it has 29.97 frames per second, which is the same as the footage itself. So which is this one right here, 1920 by 1080, 29.97 frames, which is fine. Here it is. Frame rate 29.97, good. Duration, 300, which is good. And for some whatever reason, let's say for example, yours looks a little different, right? Okay, let me just show it. All right, so for example, if your duration, if yours looks like this, okay, if yours looks like that, that means it's in seconds, minutes, and hours. If yours looks like this and you don't know how to change it back to this, okay, if all you do is select the the middle 0, the middle column, whatever, put in like, I don't know, 8, that's 8 seconds if you want. I said before 10, but I mean, you could just make it 8, whatever, you know. Or if you already put 300 frames, that's fine too. Just as long as it's at least, you know, like 7 seconds, or which means 210 frames. So it could be like this, 8 seconds, or it could be like, I don't know, 300 frames, something within that ballpark. All right, so that's if you have the regular time code instead of frames. That's how you do it. This column is seconds. That was 8 seconds right there. 8 seconds. All right. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Here's our main comp. Check. All right. Highlight all of this. Cross it out. Now I'm going to drag and drop my outer space footage into the timeline. Okay. If your footage is larger than the main comp, you must scale it down. Yep. All right. I got to select the footage. Blah, blah, blah. Scale. Blah. Here's my footage right here. Drag it. Grab it. Drag and drop it into my main comp. Here it is. But you don't know it, but it is huge. I zoomed out with my mouse scroll. Here it is. This is how big it is. This is the size of 1920 by 1080. This is the size of a 4K high resolution image. We need to scale this footage down. Press S as in Sam. That'll bring up the scale tool. S as in Sam brings up the scale. Type in here 50%, hit enter. Ooh, I pressed enter twice and it took me into the preview panel for the footage. Remember how you guys got confused? Just exit out this tab. Get out of here. Here it is. So now it's smaller, meaning it, you know, scaled it down to the 1920 by 1080. All right, so I got that, and I scaled it down 50%. The S as in scale. All right. All right, close the layer. Okay, I didn't do that yet, but I'll do it. Now lock your footage. Let's lock the footage. Because it did, some of the students' ones actually did move by accident. So over here, the lock, press it, lock it. You can't move it anymore. Next, create a new text layer. Layer new text. Layer new text. Boom. Okay. Go over here. Make sure you have characters panel, paragraph panel, characters, paragraph. Okay. Also align. Window, align. You want to have that too. Boom. So let's look at the character panel. You're going to choose impact for the characters, the font style impact. This here is the size. Set the font size. I'm gonna put it, I don't know, 265. Right here, see? And over here, all caps. Turn that on. Alright. And next, oh, paragraph. You want to click centered. Okay, paragraph, center. Let's go back to character. I'm gonna give it a color. So basically, you click on this box next to the eyedropper, click it. Now I'm gonna click on the eyedropper. I'm gonna choose a color. The background is pretty dark, bluish, so maybe I'll choose something like a light bluish. Something like that with the eyedropper. Hit OK. And this can be changed on the fly, so it doesn't really matter. Alright. Now I'm going to type. The layer is active, so I can type. I'm going to type in, I don't know, infinite traveler or something, I don't know. So there it is. And maybe I want to change the color of the text. Maybe I don't like this color, so I just, in my layers, I just double click so it's highlighted live. I'm gonna go back in here, click that, and click on the eyedropper again. Now it's interactive. Ooh, maybe just something like, nope, no, no. Okay, I like that. It's just almost white. I just chose around here. Hit OK. Alright. So I changed the color a bit. Now I'm gonna go under paragraph panel. Okay, so that's on, good. Let's go to the align panel. And let's see if it even moves in the align horizontally. It moves a little. Alright. So, okay, we got that. Next, this part is critical. Do not skip this part. If you screw this part up, you're going to have to redo this all over again because the animation reveal will not work. So, first thing, be mindful of where this is. This little icon right here, remember the move anchor point, the pivot point? Be mindful where it is. Okay, if you don't know, if it's hanging around here or here, sometimes I've seen students where it's just way out here or something, I don't know. So in case, just select it. And when you go to layer, transform, center anchor point in layer content. Okay. That just syncs the anchor point to be centered. Alright, so do that. Next, you're gonna now move this anchor point up to the ceiling of this letter. So this, alright, have your layer selected, press Y. Alright, Y once, this turns into that cursor. See how it changed? You could look here, it's blue. Turn on snapping. Now I can move my anchor point and pop it there. See? And then press V as in Victor to get out of the tool. See? It's not highlighted anymore. But now you want to turn off snapping. Turn this off now. Students are still forgetting to turn this off, so turn it off. Alright, so I moved the anchor point there. Next. Alright. Alright, so did that and that. Alright, so there we go. Now I need to make a word for the bottom. So all I'm going to do is this first word, I'm going to just Control D to duplicate it. Alright, I duplicated it. And I'm going to, since it's already selected, right, it's infinite 2. I want to left click on it, hold down and drag it, and drop it there. And I'm going to press P as in Peter. That gets your position. First column is left to right. Second column is up and down. I'm going to just pull it towards my right. Right there. Right there, see? And I'm going to double click on it. See? I'm going to type in a word. Infinite. Infinite Cosmos. Yeah, something cheesy. Infinite Cosmos. Alright. And it fits really nicely. So, that's good. So yeah, basically you're going to want one layer for each word. Okay? If you don't do that, it's not going to work. And I need to make that shape layer. I wonder if I should do that first. Maybe, I mean, you shouldn't get it confused. It'll be fine. Alright, so I made a second word, but I need to change its pivot point. And right now I have the cursor, the text tool active. You see how it looks kind of weird, the cursor? If you look here, that means it's still active, which is not the best thing. I can just go over here, click that, so I can get out of that tool. Then while I still have my second word selected, I'm going to press Y to turn on the move anchor point. And now I'm going to go back here. I'm going to turn on snapping. Now my anchor point, my move anchor point is active. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to dump it right here. I'm going to zoom in a bit, hold down the space bar, left mouse click to pan, zoom in a bit more. I also want to make sure, okay, so I'm still in my move anchor point because I didn't switch out of the tools. It's right here. I'm going to just move it up, right? I'm going to turn off snapping too. I turned off snapping. Grab it, I'm going to just chuck it right there. This little thing makes a huge difference. Like, I can't explain it right now, but for later on, it makes a huge difference. Right there. Make sure it's snug. It touches snug. Alright, now I'll click over here to get out of that tool. Alright, good. So there we go. And yeah, what I'm thinking now is I'm gonna grab this one and this one, press P as in Peter to get the position. I want to move it a little bit up, a little bit higher for both of them. So I press P as in Peter for both text. Second column, right? I'm gonna just pull towards the right, or no, towards the left. So right there. I just nudged it a little bit higher. Okay. So the way I did was I selected the first one, second one, press P for Peter. Sorry, under position. Second column, you kind of just pull either left or right to kind of make it a little bit higher than centered. Like I pressed it a little, I pulled it a little bit higher up, just a little bit. Okay, that's about it. Also, the spacing of the letters. Make sure the spacing is exactly like this much, only that much. Don't give it more of a gap. Like this is good. This part is super, super, super important as well. All right. You know what? Maybe even the infinite. I'm gonna grab the infinite. I'm gonna pull it up a little bit more. It could use a little bit more gap. Yeah, something like that. That'll work out good for the animation reveal. Okay, so we did that and that. Now I need to make something called a shape layer. Yeah, which is right here. Layer, new shape layer. So layer, new shape layer. It made this, but you see nothing in here. Don't do anything. Don't click anywhere. Just look up here. You see some things look different. Lit in blue, lit up. Make sure your stroke, there's nothing on the stroke. If you have the stroke with an outline on it, you click on it, okay? Or you click here under stroke, the text. Make sure this is checked on, okay? Because sometimes you might have that. You see that? If you have this is not good at all. Do not have it like this. Click on the stroke, click here, the line, hit OK. The letter. You click that, you open up its options. All right, so just make sure. And then the fill of your shape layer that you're gonna make it red. Again, click that, put it here, OK. So for the fill layer, sorry about that, I had to read what the notes said, what my notes said. Now I'm gonna draw out a fill, a shape, a rectangle shape, and I'm gonna, while I draw it out, I need to place it underneath the top word. So this top word, I need to draw out a rectangle underneath it. And I'm going to do that right now. So here's the line, baseline. I have to draw a box underneath this, right underneath this line. So I'm going to go across like that, eyeball it, pull back up to here. And I'm going to now left click and hold. Now I'm going to pull out. Make sure it's big and fat like that. Let go and press V as in Victor. Okay? That's how you make the shape tool. Yeah. I'll do that one more time. Control Z. Here's my shape layer. Right? And I'm gonna delete it. Do it one more time. Layer, new, shape layer. Everything's activated. Make sure no stroke. Make sure this is red. I'm gonna see how it looks different, right? There's a star. So I'm gonna draw out the shape. I'm gonna look at, eyeball it. This is the base. I'm gonna pull back here. From here, I'm gonna left click and hold. Left click, hold, draw out. Boom. Make sure you draw out big and fat. Don't do things like this, just big and fat. Boom. Let go. Press V as in Victor to get out of the tool. Again, V as in Victor to get out of that tool. Now I'm going to zoom in, and this next part is super important. I'm going to zoom in, right? And there's a bit of a gap. I don't believe it or not, but this little gap causes problems. Have my shape layer selected, press P as in Peter. And I'm going to press and hold the control key to get fine-tuned handle control. Alright, press control, and this left column, this right column is my height, where I can drag up and down. And I'm holding control so I can get really fine-tuned control of my selection. There, boom. That's exactly what I want. There's a reason why for it. Alright, I'm happy. Alright, I need to rename this. This has to be renamed. Right click on it, rename. Or if you don't have a right mouse button, press enter. It'll activate it. I'm going to type in here, top word mask out. Top word mask out. Because it's going to mask out the top word. It's going to help to hide the top word. Check. Next, this rectangular mask, which is going to help hide my animated text, this needs a visual treatment called a blur. It's called a fast box blur. Go to Effects and Presets. If you don't see it, Windows, Effects and Presets. Type in fast box blur. Make sure your top word mask out is selected. Fast box blur, double click. Alright, now you have this effect on top of your red box. But the blur radius, set it to 3. Enter. And it did something. So I'm going to click outside, zoom in. You see the little haze? Okay, good. So that was for that. Now I'm going to turn it off. Turn it off. Alright. Yeah. Okay, so this, I'm going to set up a set mat for my top title word. This guy, infinite. I need to set up a little trick so that he gets hidden by my red box here, my top word mask out red box. I'm going to hide my red box. So that's my mission. Select my top word. Go to your effects and presets. Type in set map. Double click. Alright, make sure your infinite word is, your top word is selected. Have a set mat. So this, what basically is telling me, or what I just did, is I applied a effect where I can take my red box, which you don't see. So take mat, right? Basically means take your red box, or you know, I'm just trying to make it super simple English, but take mat, or take my hiding element, or the thing that's gonna hide, help me hide. Okay, what layer am I going to choose? Top. Ooh, click on it. Top word mask out. Look, it hit it. It did its job. It hit it, but not the way I want it. It has to be reversed down here, because the mask is down here. All right. So before I get to that, I'm going to go to Source, Effects, and Mask. What that means is that the little blur that I added on my red box, with this on, that will activate that red blur. Finally, Invert Matte. Okay, and it looks like nothing happened, but if you zoom in, have a nice soft blur. That's one good thing. Then I can do a test. I'm going to click on my infinite word, my top word, press P as in Peter. The second column, which is the up and down. Watch, I'm going to pull it up and down and you see it work. See? So start from here, it'll animate up, like that. See? So that shows me it works. Control Z to undo it. We're good. Alright, make sure your mask box is hidden. And alright. Next, I need to make the same kind of a red box for my bottom word, because I need to make a box to hide it, just like I did for my top word. I'm going to go Layer, New, Shape Layer. Again, this activates. It could be in red, no stroke. And here's the tool. I'm going to draw it out, but when I draw it out, I have to draw it above, okay, above the bottom title word. Here's my bottom title word. I have to draw it above it, like right above it. So right above it. So I'm gonna see the line right here, this ceiling line. I'm gonna just go like that up to here. And I'm gonna just left click and hold, drag it out, draw it out. Ooh. Okay, stopped right there. Oh, okay, this is high enough. Yeah, good. Like that. And press V as in Victor to get out of the tool. Zoom in a bit. Looks a little clipping a bit. Looks a little sketchy. So I'm going to select it, press P as in Peter. The Y. I'm going to nudge it up. I'm going to press the Control key. And I'm going to pull on the second column and right around here. Right there. It'll clip here and here. And it'll probably affect some of that a bit. Here, here, here. Alright, so shit. Undo that. Press V as in Victor to get out of that tool. Or just click out here so you don't move it accidentally. Damn it. God, that's annoying. Alright, good. So we're good. I need to name it. Press Enter. I'll name it Bottom Word Mask Out. Alright. I need to apply my visual treatment. I need to add that blur. Adding the blur on the red rectangle. So select it. I'm not going to use Set Matte. See? It has Set Matte. Do not click on that. That could make a mistake. I'm going to click in Fast Box Blur. Double click. If your effects panel is not here, but let's say if it's here, like that, because by default it'll do that too. Grab it, yank it here. And I got my fast box blur, but it's not doing anything. I'm gonna go here, type in 3. There. All right. Then I'm gonna turn it off. Then I need to grab my bottom word, and I need to, you know, do that thing where I tell my bottom word to help hide itself, okay, and help hide itself using my bottom word mask out. How am I going to tell it to hide itself? I have to use not the fast box blur, but again the set matte. I'm going to set a matte, okay. Alright, so before I go forward, I just pull up the definition for matte. M-A-T-T-E. Such a weird name, weird word. Matte. So basically, you know, it's like a color paint or surface. I mean, technically this is what it is. It's dull and flat without a shine. Or like a matte paint or matte finish. A sheet of cardboard. Blah, blah, blah. It's basically like a surface. You know? Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. But in terms of us, basically when it says set matte, you know, basically you're going to use that red box. That red box is your matte, basically. That's what it is. So I just wanted to, you know, butcher that definition further by saying that. Probably doesn't help, but whatever. So right. Yeah. Our Cosmos word, we need to set matte, which is here. Set matte. Double click it. Make sure you have your bottom word selected. Set matte, right? So you're going to use that matte shape to use as a disappearing act. So take matte. What matte? I'm going to take it from. I'm going to take it from the bottom word mask out. Boom. And I wanted to use the soft blur effect that was on that red mask box. And right now it's hiding it. But I don't want it like that. I want it to invert it. So now you see it. So overall, your set mattes, it has to be on the text. Do not put the fast box blur on your text. That's just going to blur the text and defeat the whole purpose of what texts are used for. You're going to put the blurs on your red boxes. That's going to hide your words. I turned off the visibility because I don't need it. It's going to be used to hide things, basically, just like the last class. But if some of you were not here, then still good to review. Let's test it out. I'm going to grab the bottom word, press P as in Peter, position, Y value, pull it up, boom. So it's going to, okay, that's how it's going to animate. That's how it's going to animate. So, and you got, as a side effect, you got a nice little soft blur at the edges. So, alright, so that's 43 minutes. I think I should continue and finish this thing. Ooh, neato. Super neat. We had to animate it. Yeah, but before that, alright, so we did a matte. We need the set matte effect. Alright, we drew out our shape layer. Alright, we did the set matte for the bottom. Boom, boom, boom. And now we gotta do the title sequence. Alright, so now I'm gonna reintroduce you to the pre-comp. What is a pre-comp? Well, and why do I need a pre-comp? Well, I'm gonna have a little special effect here where I showed you the outer layer overlay of having the astronaut on top of the text. Well, in order for me to do that, I need to make something called a pre-comp. Basically, my little gig that I set up for my words, like the top word, bottom word, the masking out for the top word, the masking out for the bottom word, those guys, I need to package them into its own container, its own composition, just like the main comp, but it's going to be called a pre-composition. That way it's going to package it, and it's going to be used as a effect. So I have it selected, right click on it, pre-compose. Select it, pre-compose. This will pop up. I'm going to name it Title Reveal. Just have this clicked on. Move all attributes, meaning move these guys, all right, into the new composition. Your title reveal is your new composition. Use this option to place the currently selected blah 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 blah. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so have this unchecked. Only this. Hit OK, and boom, packaged it nice and neat into itself. Only do it once. Here, all right, I'm gonna double click. Boom, it popped it here. So if I click here, we're back to here. Composition main. Click here. Composition title reveal here. If you do not see the black background, that's because of this. If this is blue, that means the fake black background is not there. So uncheck that so you can see the generic default black background. All right, so here we are, and we're almost done with the title reveal. Let me save this. You could, you could name it, like I would name it your name, and I would use underscores. I wouldn't use spaces. It can screw things up potentially. You could write down the title of your project. Mine is Infinite Cosmos. So I'm gonna write down Infinite underspace Cosmos underspace work in progress WIP 01, enter. Make sure you know where you save it. We're good. Let's animate. Now I should give it probably like, I don't know, 4 seconds. 4 seconds, so 4 times 30 is 120. So about, that's just, you could start at the 110 mark, 110 frames. If you do not see this, make sure it's in frames. We don't want seconds or minutes or hours. The regular time code. We're going to be timing and animating things on frames, not seconds. Control left click. If you have this, not good. Control left click, make it to this. We're at frame 110. Okay. The reason why I want to give it some buffer room, to give it some empty space. Nothing is moving for the first like 3 seconds or 4 seconds. That way the audience, they see something, just the background footage, and the eyes gets accustomed to it for about a couple of seconds, and then you can introduce the title, so that's not just out of nowhere. It's just having visual forethought, and in relation to the audience who's going to be viewing things. But yeah, so you could make it like 110, and I'm gonna click on infinite, and I'm gonna press P as in Peter, and I'm gonna click on the stopwatch. You only click the stopwatch once to activate a keyframe. from that point on, do not click on the stopwatch. You click it again, it will kill off the keyframe. So you just click it once to activate it. Alright, so I set a keyframe here, but you would think I would go forward to set another keyframe, which, I mean, you can. Well, you could do that, or you could go back a bit. But you know what, let's go forward. So I'm gonna go forward 30 frames. The way I can do that is in here. I'm gonna add 30. So 110, 120, 130, 140. Click on it, type in 140, because that's additional 30 frames. Hit enter, and here's my additional 30 frames. Now I'm gonna hit not the stopwatch, but the diamond here. Make sure you're in position. So I got 2 keyframes, and this is the hotkey to toggle between first and last keyframe, or just in general. Press J, as in Jacob, goes back. Press K, goes forward. J, K, J, K, J, K, J, K, like that. That's how you toggle keyframes. Alright, now we got 2 keyframes. Why did I do this? I'm just setting my markers before and after keyframes. Before it moves, after it moves. Before and after. Okay? But the thing is, this is with the final position. We had already set the stage for how it lands. Where it lands, okay? This is its final shot. It's gonna look like this. So, that's already set for you. That we did. Now we just go back. And this is where we actually move it. The first keyframe. So under the Y, I'm going to pull down up here. So I'll do that again. Mind this, watch this area, and watch how much I pull down. Pull right here, right? And pull some more, like right there. Like right around here. You see my marker right here? Right there. So you give it some extra buffer. And then, see, we look at it nice and neat. You see, got that nice little blur? That's your fast box blur. Your fast box blur that was on the mask. I'm gonna turn it on. See? See? So I turned it back off. I'm gonna zoom out. Zoom out. So let's play it. Nice. Alright. Good stuff. Then I'm gonna press J and J again. I need to open up Cosmos. My bottom word, press P as in Peter. I'm gonna set a keyframe. Click on the stopwatch. Activate it. Press K, forward in time. Press on this diamond. Not the stopwatch, but a diamond. Now I got 2 keyframes. J, K, J, K. Same thing for the Cosmos. This keyframe is set. This is where it's gonna be. Now I gotta go back in time and put hide it. So I'm gonna second column, pull up. See what I'm doing? Watch how much I go up to here. This is its clearing point, but I want to go up further, like that, a little bit more. What's around here? I pull it up some more, and neat, very neat. Let's play it. Okay, so that works. I'm gonna save it. But right now it's only here. It's only here. But you'll notice if I click this, it has a clear background, like a cutout. Now if I go back to my main comp, boom, watch what happens. So as you can see, the title reveal, it also acts as a transparency, because it is. There's nothing in, there's no background in here. If I click that, this is what it literally is. And when you go here, right? If I hide the footage below it, right here, the eyeball, it's in black. But if I turn off the fake black background, it's back to here. This is the title reveal. The title reveal has a transparency by default. I'm gonna turn on the footage. Boom. So you have your reveal. But the delay is a bit long. Look at this delay. I overdid it. See? That's way too long. Right about now is when it should pop up. Right on the 60 frame mark. So that's about 2 seconds. Yeah. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna turn this black again, just for my eyes. And I'm gonna show you how to pull back the frames. Click on that and that. Press U as an umbrella. That pulls up the keyframes. Whatever you do, do not yank on the bars. If you yank on the bars, this happens. What you're gonna do is left click and drag so you marquee select. Then you're gonna drag the keyframes. I'm gonna click on one of the keyframes. If you click outside of it, that doesn't do anything. You have to select it, move your cursor on the keyframe, left click and hold, and drag. Right around here-ish. See? Timeline, 60 seconds. I mean 60 frame mark. That's about 2 seconds. A little over 2. Now go back to here. Let's play it from the beginning. See? Oh, I like this background. It's trippy. There. So there's how you do the title reveal. So we did that much in class. I also added music or sound effects. So let's show that. Go to your main comp. All right. Go projects. Double click. Outer space project assets. Right. The main folder inside of it. Sound footage for outer space. I gave you guys whole stack of music. This is music, like space themed. You pick and choose. But first thing I recommend is putting the ambient space noise. Ambient space noise. Double click. Here it is. Grab it. Make sure you drag and drop it. Make sure you have your main comp on, not your title reveal, your main comp. Put it underneath. Boom. This is your music. If you press L or LL, again, that's LL really fast. L as in ladder. This is its waveform. And press spacebar. You hear some crackling noise, but that's just because of my video recorder, but it's a really nice background noise. So that's that. But the other thing I wanted to show was in class I showed how to keyframe the sound so that it gradually fills in instead of just right off the bat. The way you do that is, let's just press L to close it. Now we're here. Alright, let's do it again. Select it, press L once. And you have your audio levels and your waveform. Click on the waveform. You see the waveform and your audio levels. This is where you set keyframes. So I'm gonna click on the stopwatch, set a keyframe at the 0 point mark. Be always aware of where your cursor is. Timeline. 0 doesn't mean 0 volume. It just means it's the default baseline in terms of the volume, what you're hearing. I'm gonna press like minus 30. Minus 30 is a good start, and look how it squashed it. And I'm gonna go forward like, I don't know, 50 frames, just under 2 seconds. And I can either just drag my cursor right around here. That's 50 frames, 50. And here, I'm gonna click on the diamond, not the stopwatch, but the diamond. Now I have a new keyframe. And the first one, I had to set to -30 to lower the volume. And press K to go to this keyframe. Click on it, so I know I have it selected. Instead of -30, I'll put like 0. 0 is the default. And see how it rises back up. I wonder if that does anything. So there's a slight delay. So I wanna maybe stall it some more, grab it, the last keyframe, pull some more. You see what it's doing down here? So I can make it to like, I don't know, 60. Boom. I just moved the timeline and I pulled the keyframe here. So it has a longer stalling time. And maybe the droning noise, background noise, maybe it's still kind of strong. Instead of 0, I could put like, I don't know, like -10. So it's slightly lower, the volume basically, -10. But once you start lowering to like -30, stuff like that, it gets super low. So let's try it. So I don't know if you could hear that, but it's you know, it's more toned down. So basically I could set it to -30, and then for the next keyframe I could make it -10, so it's more subtle instead of 0, which is default volume. So with sound design and visual design, just adding subtle variances, you know, can make a difference. Because I actually made it weaker to like -10 instead of 0, which is its baseline. And then from there, main comp, you could add music, outer space music. I don't know, like I don't know, maybe this one. I'll grab it, maybe drag it down here underneath the noise. I can press L once, pull up the waveform so I kind of see. So it starts off right there. There's a pop right there, a hit. So I want to hear the noise. Let me hear the music. Right here. So there's a sting right there, a pop. Maybe I just had a creative thought that right when it starts here, the intro, the animation reveal, maybe I'll make it pop, make the music start here where it rises. So the way I can do that is just grab it right here, the bar, grab the bar, and boom, maybe right on here. So it's gonna kick in right when the animation kicks in. See? And you could hear the droning noise. I don't know how well you can hear it, but so that's neat. It's fun. But I think the music is loud. So I could just set to like -10. So it's, you know, it's kind of toned down. See? So yeah, you could have a lot of fun with that. So that's 1:07. Yeah. You know what? I'll show the lens flare. So I'm gonna double click here. One last one. Lens flare. And I don't know, maybe this one? Or horizontal optic lens flare. Anamorphic. Okay, got the anamorphic lens flare. Grab it, drag it, drop it. I'm gonna dump it on top of the title reveal. It looks like this, which is horrible. But first of all, I need to set the mode. Right, mode. If you don't see it, if you just see this, click here. The lens flare, set the mode to add. Ooh. Lighten, no. Screen, maybe. Color dodge, nope. Overlay, nope. Soft light, nope. Off, on, off, on. Light, ooh. That's ugly. Maybe I'll lower the opacity on this thing. Press T as in Tom. That's for it. Turn on your opacity. Maybe I'll make it a lot weaker, like I don't know, 35%. And it's huge. See, it's a 4K image. So I lowered the opacity. I set the mode to lighten. I'm gonna press S as in scale. I'm gonna put this to 50%. Now the lens flare, this flare is a lot smaller. So I'm gonna scrub it. Okay. All right. I see something here that I can mess around with. So you see the effect? I could have that transition. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, overlay? Overlay's kind of, ooh, see that? Let me press T. T for T as in Tom. Bring up its opacity. Maybe drop it down to 30%. So it's super subtle. Oh, you have that. So the little lens flare that's crisscrosses, maybe I'll make it, actually it's timed almost correct. It's timing by coincidence the same as the animation reveal. Let me play it out. Okay, starting here. So I kind of don't like that. All I do is I'm going to grab it, maybe pull it forward in time. So it starts here. Watch, from I pulled it forward in time. Boom, 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 boom. Ooh, what the hell? Right. The darkening that you see is from the lens flare kicking in. But it just slams right into it. That's why you see that punch and contrast. I mean, I like that. Alright, 1 second. Alright, so, as you can see from here, right, I'm going to zoom in, holding on the option, middle mouse to zoom in, and spacebar, left click, hold and drag. I'm not moving the layers, I'm just spacebar, left click and drag. It's kind of like panning left to right. Spacebar, hold on spacebar, left click to pan. So here and here, the reason why it's doing that pop is because here to here, this is where this layer begins. And this layer, if I turn it off, on. So that's the reason why. Because it has any of these overlays, it causes that. So let's say something more, hey, saturation is nice. But still, it has the change in color, and it's like right, boom, regardless. So I'm pretty sure you guys will get into the situation, because the other files have that issue. So in order to fix this, we're going to have to gradually introduce the transparency of this, so your eyes get fooled into thinking that this is just gradually occurring on screen. So what am I saying? So right now it's set to 30%. I'm going to put a keyframe, the diamond. And this one right here is that 30%. Oh, I'm going to kill that and that. Pretend you didn't see that. So it's already at 30%, okay? But boom, 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 right? No good. So from here, where it's at 30%, where I laid it before, I didn't put a keyframe. I'm going to put a keyframe here. Turn on the stopwatch, put a keyframe. I'm going to go like, I don't know, like right around here, like this much. I'm just eyeballing it. I don't know how many frames this is. Maybe if I hold down control and left arrow, clicking, control left arrow, click, 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 click. Right around here, that many frames. I'm gonna go press on the diamond, set a keyframe. So I put after and before. 2 keyframes. I'm going to go back to the first one for opacity, which is T. I'm going to set it to, make sure I select it, yank this to 0. So now I animated its transparency or its opacity. So you gradually you see it. So it's more easy on the eye. See? Boom. Instead of a pop, it's gradual. Press down Option, mouse scroll to kind of pull back here. So from here, neat. Maybe I'm gonna pull this bar, not the keyframes, but the bar. Maybe I'm gonna yank it more forward so it delays. I just yank this forward. See that? Yank it right around here. So it begins right around the music and the animation begins. So from here. See? Let me play it. So you could, do that. That's neat. Maybe I'll go back to this keyframe, right, where I had set it to 30%. Before it's set to 0. And now it's set to 30, so it's a gradual right here. Make sure you're on it. Maybe I want to adjust it, make it 35%. A little bit more kick. See? That looks neat. But it's making this bar. You see that bar? Well, yeah, you see right here? There's a subtle difference in white color. I could grab this. I could just dump it underneath the title reveal. Boom. So it's behind it. There's little things like that you could do. Ooh. And this part happened. You see that? That's where it ends. See? Ugly. So this is what I taught before. You select it, right click on it, time, freeze on last frame. Oh shit. That ain't gonna work. Alright. So what I could do is just as I gradually turned on its opacity, like that, and see, whoever made this lens flare, they made the flare stay here, which is what's screwing me up. So see, what I'm gonna do is at this end keyframe, I still want to use this. I'm gonna press U again, and I'm gonna set a keyframe. Under opacity, put a diamond keyframe, click it here. I'm gonna go back around this many frames, and I'm gonna put another keyframe. So I have 2 keyframes. I just put keyframes, that's all I did. And here, this one, I'm gonna set it, the last frame, I'm gonna set it to 0 so that it goes away. See? See that? I wonder if that'll work. Okay, that worked. See? So overall 0 up to 30%, so you can see it. So it took its time. It's playing it out, and then from here down until you can't see it anymore. So it's a gradual disappearing act. Gradual appearing, gradual disappearing. Yeah, so that's how you can do that. This is how you're gonna probably have to animate the lens flares, because a lot of them have this bit of a annoyance where it stays on screen and maybe it'll cut out. So I wouldn't ignore what I'm showing right now. Not only that, but I'm gonna make this a homework assignment. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for today's lesson today. And I'm gonna go over the homework assignment. I mean the homework tutorial soon. I don't know, maybe tomorrow maybe, or depending. I gotta see my schedule. But for those that were absent and for those that in class, at least, yeah, you have to do the lens flare. That's one of the assignments. The homework assignment, I'm gonna post it up. Okay, that's it. Bye.